Hi, everybody. I'll turn over here and let you see my guest. Yay! Welcome to the Life Practice PBL Facebook live chat. Yay! This is the first chat where we get to have a guest host. And what a guest host she is. So if you're watching this one, you know, we have more than doubled the brain power of the room. I'm just going to say that by adding her. Tonight's topic is all about finding the similarities and the differences in STEM and PBL and the connections and the confusions, because they are not the same, but they are similar. So let's go ahead and get started. Saying hi to Jill coming in, by the way. As you folks are coming in, I want to make sure that you get an opportunity to introduce yourself in the chat below the video right here, who you are, and this time, why are you interested in STEM and the PBL connection and confusion topic? What brought you in here today? My name is Ginger Lewman. I'm an international keynoter, consultant, author, teacher, and your host here of the Life Practice PBL Facebook live chats. Jenna, how are you? How's Indiana doing for you? Awesome. I want to introduce to you all, my guest tonight is a good friend of mine. I'm going to call her a good friend, if she would admit it or not. And she's a colleague, too. This is Katie Perez.
Hello.
We're going to sit close to each other here, which if you know us, this is like the most uncomfortable thing for either one of us. We like to have a very large bubble around us. Anyway, hi, Tamara. Good to see you in there. So, folks, Katie, say hi to everybody and let them know who you are and why you're here.
All right. So I'm Katie Perez, and I'm a consultant here at ESDAC with Ginger. I specialize mostly in elementary STEM and PBL. Still consider myself to have a good teacher's heart and try to keep it real with what's happening in the classroom. I worked with Ginger to co-create SteamMaker Junior, also the author of Boomlet Learning Science, which is a new curriculum for K-5 science I'm excited about, and happy to be here.
Yay! I try to hang out with people who are smarter than me, so.
Me too.
Yeah.
Works. It doesn't.
I'm not sure how that works out here.
Other people out there that are
There we
smarter than both
go.
of us, is my point.
That's funny. I'm so glad, Katie, you're joining us tonight, because really she is somebody that I look up to, not physically because she is
Short.
very short, but she's a strong educator who doesn't just take me at my word. I love the pushback that you give me, Katie, and you're really good at pushing. Be gentle today.
That's right.
And that is exactly why I wanted her, because she will push a little bit. Saying hi to Scott there, and did we say hi to Tamara? I mean,
We did, yeah.
Okay, boss came in. You got to say hi to the boss.
Hi, boss.
Anyway, making sure that we're doing the right thing. Anyway, so before we dive in, I want to mention September's giveaway. Last month we gave away copies of the Lessons for Life Practice Learning book, and I see one of our winners is in today. Woo! This month we're doing something a little bit different. We're going to be giving away 5 sets of Kevin Honeycutt's and my the Life Practice PBL recipe cards. Each set comes with seven units in it that work K-12 in all content areas, because it's PBL, y'all. Anyway, so we're going to be giving away 5 sets of those to people who, now listen carefully to this, you're going to be entered when you share a picture of your students engaged in some sort of tasty PBL. If you can't show your kids' faces, just show their hands. If you can't show hands, just show the products, the things they're building on. You don't have to tell us the school or anything. Don't get yourself fired, y'all. Just post your picture, and you're entered to win into the drawing in one of the card sets for your own classroom. So if you share the chat tonight and all the September chats, we'll go ahead and enter you again if you share it. So these are PBL units. We've highlighted these over here. These are just some of them that I know it's backwards, sorry, I haven't printed it forwards for you. But these are some of the units that we've highlighted earlier in other previous chats, and people have seemed to really love them. If you want to look for them and plan to win and shop for which set you want, you can go to lifepracticepbl.org. Teachers love using them, so glad you guys are there. Hi, Bruce. Love to see you there. I know Tamara hates it when we say boss, but that's why I say it all the time.
It's funny.
Because especially like this, she can't do anything. Anyway, so we're here tonight to talk about the PBL STEM connections and the confusion. So please do post your questions or your comments. We're betting that some of the things that we say tonight might ignite some of y'all to action and to say things.
Okay.
It might be poking a little bit. You may not agree with everything we say, so let's get to it, right? Seriously, as we look at STEM and PBL similarities and the differences, I want to note that there's STEM and then there's STEM. I think STEM is done in too many classrooms with worksheets and teacher-directed instruction. As I travel across the U.S., I see this a lot. But there are others who might implement STEM differently. Yes, they might use more of a PBL fashion. And to not let the cat out of the bag, Katie and I have some things to say about that today. So let's dive in here. Where do you want to start?
So let's talk about some similarities first. So,
ta-da! Okay, go ahead.
So I think one of the big ones for me is that both PBL and STEM really depend on that need to know inquiry situation for students. It really helps them dig deeper into a higher learning opportunity. And explore content in a way that can't be explored if I'm doing just a basic hands-on activity or standing at the front of the classroom lecturing.
I like that. I like that a lot. I think also that they both target rigorous learning and problem solving. I think that both STEM and PBL ask kids to think deeper, to think beyond what the typical worksheet responses are.
Yeah, definitely. Another similarity is move this for myself.
Oh, please, yes, please do. I love that you're doing that. I'm over here looking at slides. Keep going.
Both STEM and PBL really focus on that content integration piece. We're looking for more than just one content area that we're focusing on. Maybe they approach that differently.
Oh, so here's our similarities here. And we identified a few. There's probably more, but these are some big key ones. And remember, this is not an hour-long live thing, y'all. So we'll move through with that. Let's dive into the differences, the nuances. Not black and white, but shades of gray.
How many shades?
Nope. Shut up. We're not going there. We're not going there. Katie, talk to us about some of those shades.
So I think that with PBL, we have the 4 C's are commonly referred to: collaboration, critical thinking, communication, and creativity. And those are intentionally integrated into a PBL. Sure, they show up in integrated STEM, but they're not necessarily planned for. My kids are doing a hands-on activity for STEM, and it's great, and it's wonderful, and they're communicating, but that's not really what I'm assessing. Whereas in PBL, that's a piece of what I'm assessing are those 4 C's.
That's what you said, right?
That's what I said.
See, I went ahead and made a little slide for us there. Some pre-planning. I think also another difference is the choice and voice is greater in PBL. Hi, Sue. Glad to have you back. I think that you definitely, oh, let me come back here.
Yeah, sorry.
Definitely, that's how it's going to work. Definitely have choice and voice with STEM, but I don't think that it's always necessarily there. As it is with PBL. I think that PBL kids take some ownership, whereas STEM might still smell a little bit like the teacher and the school and the classroom. What do you think on that
Right,
one?
so I think kind of, my head always goes to a bridge project with STEM. I mean, I think that's kind of the quintessential STEM project.
Are you talking the spaghetti bridges?
Any kind of bridge. That's my point. We say, we're going to build a bridge, and you have these choices. And so maybe I'm giving them more than one choice, and that's my student choice and voice, but it's still me selecting the toothpick and the popsicle stick and the spaghetti. Great opportunity for students, not PBL.
Right. I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. By the way, the reason we're doing this is because I don't know about you, I get this question all the time.
Yeah.
What's the difference between PBL and STEM? Okay, so let's go to the next one. Dun, dun, dun. By the way, Sue, thanks for the love on the slides. Appreciate it. I'm going there, y'all. I am going there. Okay, so STEM oftentimes is just STEM. And when we start to say, I'm gonna say it. When we start to say STEAM or stream or streams or stream peam or where you start putting it, come on, y'all. You can put, I don't disagree with the arts in with STEM, because I think if you're doing it well, again, the aesthetics, the design matters. But when we start to be all inclusive like that, it's no longer STEM. Can I get an amen on that anywhere?
Amen.
Okay,
Hallelujah.
the two of us, we agree. I'm glad.
Doesn't happen all the time.
And so that if STEM is STEM, and it's still good learning, and we're integrating arts and things like that, PBL really does. Oh, I'm sorry, am I jumping ahead here?
No, you're good.
It really does seem to hit all the areas more naturally. It doesn't have to. Let me let you go on to that if you want to.
Yeah, so I think that some of the best examples of PBL that I've seen really are focused on one content area. Social studies comes to mind. There are so many fabulous PBLs that you can do within social studies. And science comes into play, and math comes into play, and of course we're going to read and we're going to write some and research. All those content areas naturally happen in a PBL the way that they do in the real world, right? I mean, if I'm going to be exploring a science area, I'm going to be researching and reading and thinking about the math area. And that doesn't, in STEM it's a little different, I guess. STEM really kind of needs to target those specific areas, whereas in PBL it just seems to happen along with those 4 C's. It's more of a balanced approach.
Okay.
Does that kind of make sense? I don't know. I feel like I'm talking in a circle there. But I think it's more about focusing on an idea the way it happens in the real world, where STEM doesn't always seem to happen in the real world.
And it can and it should, but in the classrooms, we often see that it's
very hypothetical in the classroom, whereas
Yeah.
PBL seems to be very authentic.
Yeah. And should it be more authentic in the classroom? I definitely think so, which leads to this. If STEM becomes more authentic in the classroom, then it's probably PBL.
Exactly.
I'm just going to say that out loud.
Yes.
You know, that you can talk about the STEM integrating those, but as they get to be more authentic, as they get to be more choice and voice, okay, so you're bringing together STEM, throw your A in or whatever, but you're doing it in a PBL fashion, right?
Right.
Straight learned that from her because I was struggling with that thought and that concept, and it really, I think, kind of makes sense with that.
I think it's important for that to not to be an afterthought, that any content that you're integrating into your PBL, it should be seamless. It shouldn't feel like an afterthought. And that's what I see a lot, I think, with STEM projects when I go out and about, is that, I got my science piece there, and the technology is, technology doesn't have to be this hardware, computer type issue. So technology is there. Math often seems like it's thrown in at that last minute, like, oh yeah, I was supposed to have a computation here, let's measure something. Or
if we start with math,
then the science piece is a little shaky. It's truly, to build a STEM activity that's going to be authentic, it's tough.
yeah.
I think it's easier to build a PPL that's authentic. Start with a great question and let the kids go.
Right. I'm with you on that. I think there are some folks who might disagree with some of the things that we're talking about today, and we're totally okay with that. Yes, let's get closer together here where they can see us here. Okay, we're touching our arms. So if you do have some sort of disagreement, go ahead, write your thoughts here in the comments or talk to us later. We invite you to get involved with the thinking. In the end, let's remember my biggest mantra. I don't know if it is yours, but feel free to steal it, and all y'all out there, there's many ways to do it right.
Absolutely.
Okay? As your kids are moving forward with their independence and their learning? If they are, you're probably on the right track. Some fellow one time wrote something, a rose is a rose, which by any other name would smell as sweet. Let's just do good learning. And if you wanted to make a distinction, you can. This is when people ask us, what's the distinction? These are our thoughts. If you have others, let's talk about it, y'all, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
Thanks for joining us tonight out here in the audience sphere and later when you come and see this later. And thank you, Katie. I'm so glad that you're
Thanks
here.
for having me.
And I hope you guys liked her because I have her slated to come in to talk about elementary stuff too. So I like how she pushes things and in my thinking too. So next Facebook live chat is September 14th next week, where we talk about the intersections of PBL and maker education. Yay, I can't wait. Are you involved in that one?
I don't remember. I don't think I am next time. I
Okay,
should be.
we need to get you involved with that one. Okay. Remember to enter the September giveaway. When you share this video out to Facebook and Twitter friends, we appreciate the love and we love you. But to be entered into the September giveaway this month, you need to share a photo of your kids or some kids that you're working with in PBL action. Remember to follow your school's social media rules. Again, we don't want y'all to get fired. So when you share your picture, you're going to be entered to win a free life practice PBL recipe card set where you can see integrated topics. This is the delicious thing that the kids say, yay, and here's your social studies, science, math, reading, and writing in it, and some tips on the back of each card of what you want to do before, during, before as you're launching the project, during, apparently I haven't written this or anything, and then, of course, as you end the project, things that you might want to think about for your kids. We're going to be giving away 5 of those this month, so yay. And if you haven't yet, be sure to like this Life Practice PBL Facebook page so you can keep up with the next scheduled chat. Again, that's September 14th. What's the intersection of PBL and maker education? Yep. So anything else? Any lasting thoughts you want to say?
No, just keep on doing what you're doing. You're making a great difference for kids if you're doing any kind of PBL and STEM in your classroom. So
absolutely,
push yourself and continue to grow.
Appreciate your support, y'all. Oh, look at that. Katie is a great addition. Thanks,
Sue.
Thank you, Sue. Yay. Thanks, everybody. And, good night. Have a good week.
Bye.